It's time for another Out of Bounds Rewind with Bo Bounds on ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
Are you still hearing that Will Rogers is the leader in the clubhouse for the backup position behind KJ Costello over Garrett Shrader?
I don't know if it's in the clubhouse yet, but I would say it's probably neck and neck with right now Will Rogers surging a little bit ahead of Garrett Shrader. But, yeah, KJ is the consensus guy, and Leach kind of said that over the weekend, said, hey, that, KJ's a little bit ahead. And you would expect that. I mean, you got a fifth-year senior out there competing with a true sophomore and a true freshman, so that only stands to reason. But, Will Rogers is one of those guys too, and he was undervalued as a prospect coming out of high school. But this is a guy that's a coach's kid. This is a guy that has played in very complex offense. And so he is, I think, a lot more prepared than the typical freshman. I think he's a guy that will show up and compete. And the thing that Leach continues to say, not just about Will Rogers, but about Dylan Johnson and Jaquavius Marks and Tulu Griffin and Emmanuel Forbes, is these freshmen have shown up, some of them, and not been intimidated. They have shown up ready to compete as if they belong here. And I think that bodes well for the future. You may not see the dividends from that on the field this year, but I think long-term you look at it and say, okay, this 2020 signing class could be a very important one for Mike Leach and Mississippi State.
Interesting. You're not totally buying in that Will Rogers is going to beat out Garrett Shrader for the backup.
I'm not there yet, but I last week it was, it's one of those things. It became a real possibility, and now I would say it's probably a probability. But there's still some competition left to do, and they'll start paring the reps down. But I think when you begin to look long term at this, Will Rogers might be just a little more capable of running this offense as a multi-year starter at Mississippi State than perhaps Garrett Shrader is. And that's not to say that Shrader would transfer. I still think that's a real possibility.
Don't miss one moment of the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Weekdays, 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. on ESPN 105.9, The Zone.